Merry Christmas. You know, I love obviously decorating for Christmas, and sometimes, you know, we live now in a world where it seems like 20, 30 years ago, we had to do a lot of these crafts on our own. We had to make our own wreaths. You couldn't find good artificial things. And now I admit, they're so readily available. You can get a beautiful wreath that is put together and have it done, but sometimes it's still fun to harken back and kind of create your own and make it fitted for you. So today this is all about a faux artificial wreath. And you can kind of make that look however you want, have whatever greens you want, textures you want. And what's nice about artificial, it does last year to year, but you can also tailor it to be exactly what you want to. So I am starting with a very natural, grapevine, very rustic wreath, just because it gives a good base and it's something easy to glue to. And then I always buy, you know, when you're in stores and you see these sprigs, sprays, swags, and they're pretty and you can find different ways to use them. But also, when you go to put them on a wreath, it's like, well, what do you do? Well, I think the important part that people just often forget is how you need to cut them apart, piece by piece. Because as they are, it's kind of hard to use on a wreath, but cut them apart, which is what they're intended for, it's a lot easier. So I have some different textures, more of kind of like a bluish or a blue spruce or juniper feel, and then more of these traditional greens. And what's nice is I've cut this one apart already, but it still has kind of long pieces. And then I also have even like Magnolia that I cut all apart. So I'm gonna use all these different textures, and what we're gonna start, you could go all the way around to make a normal wreath. I'm gonna kind of start from the bottom center, work my way out almost like a laurel style pattern of a wreath, kind of go up the sides and not quite meet at the top. I mean, those are kind of in, I get it, like they are, but sometimes I do kind of like the look. And since this has kind of long pieces, you can glue it like that as a long piece, but I want it to end up being fuller down here. So I am gonna start by gluing just kind of this piece down. You know, you're kind of just gluing interspurtantly. I am using a hot glue gun. This is an actual hot glue gun in the sense that if you touch the tip or if you get the glue on you, you will cry. Yeah. One year actually I did get the glue on me, a big glob of it, and I went and ripped it off, and it just ripped the skin and everything off, so be careful. You can also buy safe ones that feel cooler to the touch. So there's different types. So I'm gonna start gluing on some of these greens, and I'll do this one since it's a long one. Obviously, I'll do it at a couple spots just to make sure it's really adhering. And then we're gonna start, and we're gonna keep going with the greens on each side, and then we'll move on to some of the fun stuff. So as you can see, I started with the greens, and I did mix in just a couple different colors of green just to give it some texture, so you get little hints of color. It's kind of a personal preference, whatever kind of green you want. But as I go then now, I'm starting to add in just a few accent pieces. So these are some faux magnolia. And again, I'm using faux just because then it saves year to year. Magnolia can dry out pretty quickly outside, especially in elements. So since it's a grapevine wreath, I'm able to kind of push a little piece down into the wreath, which helps hold it. And then I kind of glue it just right behind. So it kind of just helps adhere it and give it a little bit added structure since you can kind of glue on multiple places like that. And then you just kind of hold until it cools. So as you can see, I've built off the center down here, and it's not that pretty right here because I have some glue holding right there. You could keep adding on top some greens and kind of slowly try to hide that if you want. I kind of want to finish it off and embellish it with some pine cones kind of coming out down here, and they're gonna hide that. So I'm gonna glue on, you know, I just kind of have, you know, nothing special. It's just old pine cones I had around the house from different things, and who knows, at one time they probably fell off of a wreath or something too. I kind of save them whenever I have them. And as I go to, I kind of just look, you can manipulate if you want to the leaves. Make sure you're kind of getting that overall shape, kind of getting that feel that you want. That's kind of fun, you can do whatever you want. So I'm gonna start by gluing some of the pine cones, and you can just put some of that hot glue on. And what I always find is the hotter, like when this is an actual hot glue gun, it takes a little bit longer to cool because it's heated up so much. So it could take you longer to actually then adhere it down. So don't feel bad if you're having to hold it for a little while. It's part of the Christmas spirit. So you can just have some music on, some coffee on. So I'm gonna let these cool off. I'm gonna let them dry, and then I'll show you the finished product. So I have finished, I have embellished, I put some pine cones, made it kind of make sense everywhere. I do 3s or 5s, odd numbers, so there's 5 pine cones total, 3 in the center, 3 magnolia around it. It just is a design thing that's easier on the eye. So if you want to embellish it more for Christmas, holiday time, some red, some preserved red, anything, whether it's a berry, a faux berry, a preserved, this is like an organza or a Oregonia, preserved and colored red. And if you just stick those in there, what I like to do is not glue these in. Instead, I stick them in, because it's a grapevine, so you can kind of stick it down into that wreath. When you are done with Christmas, and say you want to keep this outside, you could just go out, pluck these out, and then it kind of just has that green appeal, and it to me lasts all winter. You know, you gotta think of those things, because you know what? I am not in the dead of winter when it is like 20 below, which it is sometimes 20 below in Iowa. I'm not gonna go out and make another wreath or anything. So it is nice to just have something that you can kind of, you know, extend the season with, make it your own. So I hope this inspires you. I hope you can see how easy this is, because guys, this is so fun, it's easy. You know, in a normal time, get friends together, have some wine, have some of those goodies you are baking or making, and have a wreath making night. It is just a fun thing, and it's also perfect for a gift. I actually think I might gift this one because I have a friend that wants a wreath. So if you like this, what helps me the most is when you share these videos around. So share the video, let other people see how easy this is, tag people that you think want to make it, because everyone, I love when others see and are inspired and want to create and do. That's what's fun about this, and that's what's fun about the holidays, is sharing this together. So thanks for coming into my home, coming onto my farm, making a wreath. I hope you're inspired, and I hope you do it too.